that I want to resonate with the colleagues that have been on the floor, and particularly because we have to enhance oversight and accountability in the counties for which the Senate is there, because by enhancing oversight and accountability, Madam Speaker, we will actually be strengthening the main role of the Senate. Madam Speaker, this oversight, I support this bill. One, that this bill will help to improve efficiency and effectiveness in the counties. That through this bill, we'll be promoting financial accountability. Madam Speaker, as I begin to support this bill, I also want to celebrate and not mourn the life of my fallen party leader, Jacom Baba, the former Prime Minister, the great man that created more greatness even in his death. Madam Speaker, I say I want to celebrate him because this is a man who lived his life. Not many people reach 80 years old. As we mourn him, we celebrate some of the values he lived for, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, in the later days of the life granted to Raila Odinga, our former Prime Minister, when you watch the later videos where I was speaking, he emphasized that we should always think as Kenyans before we think about ourselves. And I'm beginning to think, even as I was mourning, that we need now to celebrate this man rather than mourn him. Come to think of it, Madam Speaker, that contrary to our expectations, especially from communities we come from, Baba was very specific on the hours that he should take when he goes to rest. There is the talk of the 72 hours, that this is a man who wanted Kenyans to move on. That this is a man that wanted this republic to move on even as we bid bye to him. What more greatness can we observe in this man? And Madam Speaker, why I celebrate this man is that he preached that we should be united. He preached a unity of purpose. In his life, he preached to the people closer to him and by deeds on inclusivity, that this is a man who, given a chance, Baba thought about Kenya rather than think about the community from which he came from. Even when he had an opportunity by the governments which he supported to make appointments, we could only see a Baba that thought about all the communities in this republic. That reflected on his cabinet, if he were to have one, that he would actually have all communities in this republic be represented in his government. Madam Speaker, I celebrate a man who preached forgiveness, that he was able to work with both foes and allies. Madam Speaker, not many of us, after competitions, would even tolerate meeting their competitors. Come to think of it, Madam Speaker, a number of us cannot even accommodate people they imagine to be competing over very personal things. But this is a man who was able to take 2 steps back and say, Kenya is bigger than himself. He wanted to demonstrate that he had a cause in this country. Madam Speaker, I celebrate his tolerance and patience. I celebrate his standing out for the less privileged or standing out for the marginalized. No wonder in our party we talk about social justice. Madam Speaker, look at the constituency Baba insisted on representing in this republic. Baba is somebody who would be elected in any constituency, if not all in this country. But he yearly went to represent Kibra, Langata, the place where people think we have the downtrodden, because that was what Baba believed in. Madam Speaker, I celebrate this man, and I cry for the people who lost their lives during his funeral, because, Madam Speaker, no Kenyan needed to die, because Baba's death was equivalent to so many deaths. And that is why I'm not mourning him, I'm only celebrating him. Madam Speaker, I remember as I celebrate this man, the lifelong tears that dripped from this man all his adult life. Madam Speaker, what could be the symbol of these tears? That Baba lived his life crying for this republic. He was crying for justice. He was crying for all the downtrodden. But I'm happy, and I want to congratulate Kenyans for mourning Baba in a honorable way, that they came out in their thousands. Madam Speaker, I've never seen such crowds in my life. That they came out in their large numbers, but those were very peaceful crowds. So I celebrate him because this is a man who was honored in life, but more, Madam Speaker, honored even in death. We celebrate a patriot. I celebrate a nationalist. I celebrate a man who gave his life for the sake of Kenyans. Madam Speaker, I said he preached forgiveness by what he did. And I want to ask everybody in this republic that forgiveness is actually a strength and not a weakness. Weak people don't forgive. It is only the strong, Madam Speaker, that forgive. Madam Speaker, I know you want to guide me. As we celebrate this man, Madam Speaker, who gave his life to this republic, because, Madam Speaker, the family of Baba had long sacrificed him to this republic. But, Madam Speaker, let me come back to the bill. And I congratulate my leader, the minority whip, none other than the senator of Narok, and the Senator Kipsang, for the County Oversight and Accountability Bill 2024. That as a Senate, we can only enhance county oversight. That we must strengthen oversight. But even as we do that, my leader, I do not think it is for lack of the physical facilities that public participation is not done well. And so, even as we focus on the infrastructure of getting physical halls, Madam Speaker, let us enhance the bill in more ways than just thinking of counties putting up social halls for public participation, because I can see even the abuse most of them will do. From here, everybody will be putting multi-billion halls. Let us focus on the actual oversight. Let us strengthen the Senate in oversighting counties. And, Madam Speaker, this must also include members of the public. We call upon members of the public that other than the stipulated oversight authorities like the Senate, the public must also be watchful down where they are in doing oversight, even as we improve efficiency and effectiveness in the counties, Madam Speaker. Let us be more objective.
Honorable Senators, it is now 6:30 p.m. time to adjourn the Senate. Senator Ogolla, you still have 9 minutes when we resume. The